Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today I will be presenting my portfolio of evidence part 1 for my Prog 5121 module known as Programming 1A. I have developed a Java console application called ChatApp that manages user registration and secures login authentication. In this video, I will walk you through my code structure and unit tests I've implemented and my version control history on GitHub. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the core logic. I created a separate class called login details to handle all the validations. So first up, we have the first method, which is check username. This method ensures two conditions are met when the user enters their username for the first time, which is the username should contain an underscore and the username length should be equal to or less than 5 characters. We then move on to the second method, which is the check password complexity. Here, this method uses a loop to verify that the password is at least 8 characters long and contains a capital letter, a number, and a special character. I also implemented a check cell phone number method, which uses a regular expression to enforce the South African international format, which we all know as the +27. And finally, we have the register user and login user methods, which manage the handoff of data and return specific status messages required by the project brief. For now, as you can see, this is how it all looks. We have the multiple if statements in the register user method where specific messages are placed or if the following conditions are not met as we've implemented in above. So the if the username is not met, the user will be presented with a message saying your username is not correctly formatted. Please ensure that your username contains an underscore and is no more than 5 characters in length. Same thing for cell phone number. The cell number is incorrectly formatted or does not contain an international code. Please correct the number and try again. Same for the last one, which is the check password complexity. Password is not correctly formatted. Please ensure that the password contains at least 8 characters, a capital letter, a number, and a special character. So once all these conditions are met, the user should then receive a message saying username successfully captured, password successfully captured, and cell number successfully captured, which will then log in the user, right? Taking those three conditions that have been met, and then the user should last finally be welcomed with a message saying welcome, the first name and last name of the user. It is great to see you again. So before we move on to actually testing the app, when coding, the first thing you need to do is always do your unit test. So now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to our unit test and test these methods to show you that they actually work. So let's get into it and yeah. So now that we're in the login details, this is the test file. So in the test file, this is where we're going to be testing all the methods that we've implemented in the previous class and see that if that they work. So first up, we have the test check username. This will test all the prompts that we've initiated, all the conditions that we've implemented to see if it works. So we can start with the first test and run it. As you can see, it scans the project and our result is successful. It says bold success. When we open the test results window and close this run, we are presented with 100% test percentage. We love to see this on a paper also. So if we test the next method, which is the test check password complexity, we should get the same outcome. And as you can see, we have another bold success. And once we close this, we have another 100% pass rate. Then when we test the third one, the cell phone number one, we should be presented with the same answer, bold success. You check the test results, 100%. And lastly, we'll check the test register user. And as you can see, in order for this test to work, I've provided key examples of what the system should test. So initially, I provided an example of how the passwords should look like based on the conditions we've set. And all these examples directly come from the POE brief. So as you can see, as I ran the test, you saw how I got 100% accurate and it met all the grading criteria. So now what we're gonna do is now we're gonna actually run the app now. So let's get into it and run the app. Now we're on the main class. In the main class, you can see that I'm about to run the app, and just for future preference, whenever you're about to run the app, it is always important that you first clean it. Because if you don't clean it, you'll stop by some logical errors or syntax errors that you may happen to miss. So what you can do is just clean the code, make sure it's nice and clean before you actually run it. So as I'm gonna run it now, we are going to use the following inputs. So as you can see, it's asking for my name. Let me just type in my name. Blanca, click enter. Last name, Indy. It's gonna ask for a username. Based on the requirements, I have to have 5 characters long and must contain an underscore. So let's just break my name down. We'll say NH underscore LA. That's NJ. You see, you have to make sure your area handling is correct. But as you can see, it's 5 characters long and has an underscore. Next is a password. So with the password, we'll just put my surname, which already has a capital letter, and let's add a special character and a number as required in the method. Now it wants a cell phone number with the condition of having the +27. So what we'll do is I'll add in a random number. So we'll say +2 7 7 8 7 6 7 5 4 6 3 2, enter. As you can see, I'm presented with a message saying username successfully captured, password successfully captured, and cell number successfully captured. Now, if I can just repeat the same username and password, what should then happen is I should be greeted with a welcome message. Let me enter the same password. And as you can see, there we go. We have welcome, Klendi. It is great to see you again. It's also great to see you too, ChatApp. And yeah, so now what we're gonna do now is, as you can see, the app runs very successfully. And now the main important stuff, we are now going to see the all the progress I've made throughout making this application through GitHub. So let's just count down 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna transition to GitHub. Let's go. And boom, we are on to the GitHub repository. This is where I've managed this project using Git for version control. As per the requirements of the assignment, I have a minimum of 6 commits. These commits show the progress of the project. So from the initial setup to the logic implementation. So if we can just take a look at the commit history, as you can see, the commit history shows from all the beginning of when I started making the initial commit to the very last commit. So this is where this shows you from everything where from the first template, which was a blank page, to the implementation of the logging method, which is our login details class, to the second commit where we performed the unit testing. Third commit is where I imported a scanner, which was the display where you saw where I was able to add in my inputs, the user inputs. I then, throughout my unit test, I added comprehensive comments, which explains what each and every test does. We then have another comprehensive comment, which was for the ChatApp class, which explains the functionality of each section, followed by an update in the README document with the following references and everything. This also indicates the second last commit, which is where I implemented my code attribution, as throughout this project, some aspects of the project I needed assistance with. So I had to reference it within my code. Lastly, we have my last commit, which is the README document, whereas there will be a 12th commit, which is in which when I add the YouTube link to my repository and making it a total of 12 commits. And that is how I managed to complete my part one. Let's just close this and take you back. And here we are. And that concludes my presentation for my Prog 5121 POE Part 1 submission. The application is fully functional, verified by automated tests, and documented on GitHub. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.